Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Jordan Davis Podcast. I am your host, Jordan Davis, and on today's episode, we have a lot to talk about, especially coming out of D23. Everything that came out of it from Star Wars to Marvel. So there's a lot of things to talk about. So I think I'm just gonna go right into the topic. And I think I'm gonna go into Marvel first because Star Wars dropped so many good things that I want to save it for a big chunk of the podcast for Star Wars. So let's get Marvel out of the way so we can really talk about Star Wars. So going into D23, I wouldn't know what they would show for Marvel. I just think that they would, discuss further about what they did at Comic Con because I didn't know what they would talk about. I really didn't. So I was thinking maybe they go more into WandaVision, maybe they go more into their movies. But I was happily surprised of what they showed. Now they did go into more details for those shows that they showed at Comic Con. How WandaVision is gonna be. It's pretty much gonna be like Dick Van Dyke show with an epic Marvel movie, but that is pretty exciting and how that leads into Doctor Strange too. I'm very excited to see how that happens and how this leads all into Doctor Strange. And the what if, I think that's going to be a pretty interesting show because all the original actors in the MCU are coming back to voice their characters in this animation What If. And that should be very interesting to play with different things. Like, what if Peggy Carter was Captain America? What if Steve Rogers was actually Iron Man? And there's so many things it looks like they're going to play with, and that I'm really excited to see. And also, they officially announced that Black Panther 2 is going to be in 2022. So that's going to be really cool and interesting to see how that progresses. Who's going to be the villain? Because there's been some rumors that Namor is going to be the villain. They've been thinking about using him in the past, and they might use him in Black Panther. Now that's just rumors. We don't know if that's actually true or not, but it's pretty cool that we get a release date of Black Panther, and we'll see how that goes. And I think the real thing that surprised me with at least Marvel Studios with was the new shows that are working on, because the ones that they announced was Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and also Miss Marvel, because there was rumors before D23 that they might do a Miss Marvel movie. Now, that's different from Captain Marvel. Miss Marvel is kind of like has the powers of Mr. Fantastic, but she's a teenager and Muslim. And so I think it's really interesting that they're finally gonna do a first ever Muslim superhero, because everybody's been wanting that, and she's pretty popular in the comic books. I mean, she's still pretty new to most people, but she's been in the comic books quite a while, and it's interesting to see how they're gonna craft this origin story to the mainstream audience and how they're gonna tell her story. And the one that also surprised me was announcing She-Hulk, because I always thought they could never do anything with a Hulk. I never thought they could do that. I never thought that they could do a She-Hulk or even normal Hulk. I thought because of the distribution rights at Universal, I thought they could never do that, or Disney would never do that, because the way they got away with using the Hulk is they put him in other people's movies so they can just distribute it, so they really don't get into legal action with Universal, so they don't get into trouble. But it seems to me that whoever is going to play She-Hulk, I think this is going to be the new MCU version of their Hulk after Bruce Banner and Mark Ruffalo Hulk is looks like it's done with. And it seems like this is going to be their new Hulk going forward. And I think the one hero, personally for me, I'm not familiar with is Moon Knight, because I've heard Moon Knight a lot. I've seen him in some video games, I've seen it in some comics, but I've truly has never got into the character or really studied the whole character because he has a pretty wacky background with he gets his powers from the Egyptian god. So that's pretty crazy. That's pretty out there. And I kind of see a trend going on with them announcing Blade, now announcing Moon Knight, and then working on a Ghost Rider TV show. So they could be planning a little group here that happened in the comic that could be really interesting. So I gotta give the Marvel. I did not expect them to give us even more shows. Now they now they did, like I said, they showed some more stuff. They gave us posters for like WandaVision and Black uh Widow. And with the Black Widow part, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I don't know if I want to see this movie. I really don't because I really got everything I needed to get from Black Widow in the whole Infinity Saga. I'm like, I'm not sure if I need to see her anymore. Do I need to see her again? I mean, I just think her movie's just too late. I just thought that if we're gonna get a Black Widow movie at all, it should have been about 4 or 5 years ago. But maybe the story in the trailer will really change my mind about what they're gonna do in this Black Widow movie and what they're gonna reveal of her past. That should be very interesting with the Black Widow. What are they gonna do to really get me interested? Because with Endgame, I really don't need to see her again. Now with the Black Widow fans, I'm sure they're going to see it. I'm sure they're really excited for it. But for me, I just think they just ended her arc in a complete way. Even if there's some moments I did not particularly agree with, they ended it on a good note. They really did. So I think that's something to look forward to. I mean, I have faith in Kevin Feige. He's gonna put together a really good movie, a coherent movie, and we're gonna have to see how that goes. And I'm telling you now, how they are setting up Disney Plus, I have no doubt that everyone's gonna run and try to get that streaming service whenever it comes out. I believe it comes out around November 12th. I believe that's when you're available to subscribe to Disney Plus. So everything I'm hearing from Marvel and especially from what they're doing with Star Wars, which I'll get to that. But with on the Marvel side, they're doing some great things, and I'm really excited for what they have in store with these TV shows and also the movies. So I think that's pretty much what I have to say about the Marvel stuff, everything involving with that. So yeah, I think that's it for the Marvel. Okay, now let's get into the big thing that happened over the weekend concerning Star Wars. So a lot of things came out in Star Wars that really blew my mind. Really got me geeked out as a Star Wars fan. And to be honest, it really started on the first day of D23 when some scenes got leaked out of, I wouldn't say scenes, I would say a short teaser of showing what exactly happened at the shareholders meeting in March of what they saw. We see like Kylo in a white room, which I always thought that was very interesting. Kylo in a white room looking at the Vader mask. I thought that was very interesting. People saying it could be a flashback, it could be present time. It could be both because it was such a grainy and blurry kind of picture because the leak footage was on a camera phone and it really didn't look clear, so it's hard to tell. But then we saw Rey and we saw Finn, we saw Poe, and pretty much to describe everything that was shown at the shareholders meeting, and it was nice to see because when you look at that footage, it really just gets you more excited with the rise of Skywalker and everything that's going to happen within it. So I think that was kind of an exciting, unexpected thing to see that it just get me more excited to see this movie and just speculate how it's all gonna end. And I'm just excited to see this movie. I really wanted to be December already, to be perfectly honest. I really want to see this movie so bad. So that was that little Rise of Skywalker kind of thing. And we're going to talk more about the Rise of Skywalker towards the end of the podcast. But right now, I think I want to talk about the Mandalorian trailer. I want to talk about that awesome and fantastic trailer that I love because it was so awesome from start to finish. I can't think of any way that could have been a better trailer. Now, you could say that it could have shown you more of the story, more of what they plan on telling, and what the arc of the Mandalorian bounty hunter is gonna go through, what the arc is gonna go through. But I truly think what this trailer all was supposed to do was show you the feel and the tone of what the show is going to be. This show is going to be a dark, gritty, dirty, grounded Star Wars kind of feeling that I think that we need at this point in Star Wars, and I'm really excited to get that, to be perfectly honest. Because I think we need that after going through all the saga films and everything of that. And I just think we need to go to a dirty, kind of messed up world that Star Wars is. Because we got our fantastic and we have our fantasy kind of soap opera, space opera kind of thing, which is the Skywalker saga. But I think to go underground of the Star Wars universe is something I'm really looking forward to. Because it kind of felt like a Western. Kind of felt like if you were going to make a Western movie, this is the kind of thing it would look like. This is the kind of thing it would feel like. And I'm really excited to see where it all pans out and see everything that they're going to show us. Because everything I'm seeing right now, I'm just so excited. Because this actually feels like Star Wars and just in a Western movie. That gets me excited to see where they might go with this. And lastly, for the Disney Plus service with Star Wars, they finally announced Obi-Wan Kenobi limited TV series. And everyone went crazy for that announcement. And I gotta tell you, I was kind of excited as well because I didn't think I needed more Obi-Wan Kenobi. The more I thought about it, I think there's a lot of things they could do to really fill in the gaps of his story. Now, I'm not talking about having another face-off Vader. They don't need to do that. There's plenty of other things they could do, and now they can still do the relationship of Obi-Wan and Vader because I always thought about when in the Return of the Jedi. I believe it was in the Return of the Jedi when he told Luke, "I once believed how you did." I always wondered when. When did you believe that? Because in the Revenge of the Sith, you tried to kill him. So I was kind of wondering, did he try to see the good in Vader once again? Did he try to get through Anakin once again that only his son could do and Obi-Wan couldn't? Because if more you think about it, if they did do that, it would remind me so much between Ben Solo and Luke Skywalker. Why Luke Skywalker could not save him because he did so much harm. It would have a kind of parallel to that only with the connection of Rey with Ben, that connection can save him from that dark side. So I think that would be a great parallel to go to if they were going to go there, because I don't know where they might go. I don't think they're going to have Darth Maul in it because they already did that with Rebels. I see no reason of doing that again, to be perfectly honest. Um, so so it should be interesting to see because I'm going to be intrigued of what they're going to do. I really am because there's so many ways they can go, so many directions. So that's going to be an interesting show, most definitely. So yeah, I think that was all the news concerning Disney Plus and their shows. Oh, there was also the show of Cassian Andor and I forgot the droid's name that they're going to be doing like a TV show with them. It's like a prequel to Rogue One, and they haven't decided on the title yet, but the feel is going to be kind of like a spy thriller. So that should be interesting if you ever did meet Jabba the Hutt. So that's also an interesting kind of series because I think that's a show that I wasn't sure I was on board with. But after rewatching Rogue One a couple of weeks ago, I was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind a prequel TV show. I'm not really a big fan of prequels though, because I want to move forward into the story. But, for some exceptions, I think this is the exception I would take. So, yeah, so now that's finally the last thing about Disney Plus. So, let's go right into what everyone is talking about. Let's go into the Rise of Skywalker. So they had their whole panel at D23 and stuff, and J.J. Abrams talked about how the Rise of Skywalker truly has the heart of Leia, in saying that they could not end the Skywalker saga without completing Leia's arc. And I thought that was pretty good because I want I want to see her arc finish. I want to see it in a good way. I don't want her to be killed out like halfway through the movie. I want her to have a finished arc. I want her to be happy in this movie. However they do it, I want her arc to be happy and hopeful, and maybe be reunited with her son, Ben Solo, and finally see her son on the good side. And I think that's the least she should get. And however they do it, I think this movie having the heart of Leia, I think it's truly something to be excited about. If you're a Leia fan, which I think anyone is a Leia fan, I think it's something to be excited about and really understanding what this movie is and the tone of it and the feeling that it's going to send all the Star Wars people and how it's going to finish this amazing big saga. So I think that's what stood out for me in talking about the movie before they showed the actual footage of what they shown. And I so before I talk about the footage, they had a description of what they showed at D23 before they showed it today, which is probably online and you can see it for yourself. So I read the description, so I was gonna go off that before I knew it was gonna be released today, so it's pretty fresh in my mind of my reaction of what they shown. And I gotta tell you right now, I'm shocked. I really am. What they are doing, what concepts they are going after and tackling, I did not think JJ would do. I can't believe he's actually going this route. Now, obviously, what the most shocking thing is Dark Rey. At the end of the sizzle reel, they showed her with a flip, double blade, red lightsaber. Kind of like Darth Maul, but it she can flip it instead of just igniting it, and it just two red lightsabers come out of his side. But with her, she just has to ignite it and flip it, and you have a double side lightsaber. And when I saw that, I can't believe they went this way because there was always a possibility of Rey going full dark, and it's a wonderful concept, but we never thought Disney and Lucasfilm would go that far. Now, there's always speculation on the internet that it could just be a vision. And if it is a vision, I don't think it's Ray's vision. I truly believe it's Ben's vision. We're going to see what he saw. Because I don't see the point of Ray having this vision. Because I think we've seen enough of Ray having visions because she's had two visions already, which I think that's good enough for me because I want to see Ben having a vision. Because when you watch her in the scissor reel, she's very robotic, very emotionless, very stoic, and truly looks like a Sith Lord or a Sith that is a dark sider that is just has no emotional, no attachments, and it could be a vision. But they could do so much more with this if it's more than just a vision. Because if they're going all out, if they are going everything at the table, they are putting everything into the center. This is what we're gonna do, and it's gonna be emotional. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be romantic in ways. It's gonna be heartfelt. It's gonna be sad. It's gonna be hopeful at the same time, and really have a great happy ending. I think the only way this could work if we have Ben and Ray fighting at the end. If that truly is where we're going, like I said last week, it has to be romantic tension. It has to be that sexual tension because that's the only way it can work. That's the only way that it could really be satisfying. Is the only way we can feel connected to it is is that romance. Is that they both love each other. From what I can tell, Ben sure loves Rey, and I do think it's gonna be pretty evident in the movie that Rey is gonna love Ben. I I kind of think she already does, but I think we're gonna see even more of that into this movie. So I think the them fighting is gonna be even harder to watch, and it's gonna be even more emotional than the Revenge of the Sith, which we know that that fight was emotional because it was like two brothers fighting. So that's why I think if they're gonna go down this route, it just cannot be a vision. It needs to be more than that because this is just too good of a concept of Dark Rey to do just a vision. We need more, and that could be such a great twist. Like in the Last Jedi, the twist in that movie was Ben killing Snoke. What if the twist in The Rise of Skywalker, she actually turns to the dark side but can't control it? Now, I'm not talking about going like uber evil when you kill her off. Don't do that. Don't do that. I think Ben actually saving her would be awesome. Be kind of a story that was in Star Wars called Bastila and Revan. Their story would kind of be like the same as what Rey and Ben's are, and they were both in love, just like Bastila and Revan, kind of the same way. So there's so many theories that are coming out that could possibly be what happened, but you really don't know because we even with this footage, even how amazing it was, we still have little of what is going to happen. And I think when we see the full trailer in October, I think that's really a good estimation of what we could see in this movie and where it could be going down. And I'm really excited about that. I really am. Because I don't think my excitement can get any higher. Now, I say that now, probably when I see the trailer, I'm probably going to get even more excited. So, man, I was just in shock as a Star Wars fan of what they showed at D23, particularly for The Rise of Skywalker. And I have a feeling that they are holding even more back because I believe that whenever that fight in the rain that they showed in the scissor reel, whatever that is pretty early in the movie. And when they meet on the desert planet, I think that's pretty early as well. I think they meet at the desert planet second act. I do believe we get that rain fight in the first act. I don't know how far in the first act we get when they fight, but I do think they're gonna fight in the first act because it just seems to me they have tons and tons more things to reveal in this movie, and I'm gonna stand on this. They just haven't hit the surface of what they're really going to show us, and when the movie comes out, it's gonna blow our minds, and it's gonna be truly the movie that everyone wants and everyone needs to end the Skywalker saga. It's truly going to be amazing. I really believe that. I believe, however, the Dark Ray stuff ends, if it's a vision or not a vision, or it could be both. It could be an actual vision and it comes to pass, and Ben has to save her from her darkness. So we could get both. We don't know. But whatever happens, I know J.J. Abrams, Kathleen Kennedy, and everyone involved with this movie to really close out the saga. I truly believe that everything that we want in this movie, they will give us. I still think we're getting Ray and Ben romantic relationship. I still think we're getting Ben's redemption. However we get it, it seems like it's going to be completely different than we thought it would be, from what I can see. And I think it's just going to be amazing. It's going to be spectacular. It's going to be fantastic. And, more you think about it, you know, you're kind of sad that, okay, this is going to end. There's no more Skywalker movies after this. But at the same time, you're happy. You're happy it's gonna end. You're happy that the Skywalkers will finally have a happy ending. Leia will finally have a happy ending. I think pretty much everyone will have a happy ending in this movie. Well, except Palpatine, but you know. But like Ben, Rey, Poe, Finn, Rose. Oh yeah, other thing, it was great to see the actor that plays Rose. I because it was just great to see her in, because I really didn't mind her in The Last Jedi. I didn't believe that she deserved all that hate, and I quite enjoyed her. And it's gonna be nice to see her in this movie and see what they have her doing in The Rise of Skywalker. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I'm pretty much all excited for everything about this movie. And I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I'm going to have my hopes, I'm going to have my excitement, and we're just going to see how this all plays out in December. So yeah. So that's going to be the end of this episode of the Jordan Davis podcast. But I want to hear your feedback. What do you think about Dark Rey and everything? Is it a vision? Is it actual or real? Or are we just gonna get both? So leave a comment, give me some feedback, because I want to hear from you. What do you think about the Rise of Skywalker and everything that we know so far from the sizzle reel that we got today? And I would like to know, to know from the fans, from the people. So yeah. So thank you for listening to this new episode of the Jordan Davis podcast. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful and blessed week.